Hello, it's Jay here again, and welcome to another tutorial. So in this lesson we're going to do something a little bit different again. We're actually going to work on moving some code around and just tidying a few things up. So I'm in the Play 1 folder of the scripts folder. And we're going to create a new C# script. We'll just call this Play 1 controls. And we'll open that. And we also want to open the Play 1 movement, and I'm sure you've guessed what we're going to do. We are going to move out the controller functions to this new script. So we'll begin by actually moving the private void for the standard input manager. So we're just going to cut all that block of script. We're going to come below the void update and just paste that in. So we're going to end up with a lot of red errors, but that is not a problem. So we've got red error in this script. We'll come back to that. So what we're going to need to do is actually change some of these to public static. And those that aren't, such as these, special move 1 active, we need to come to the front and just add the player movement script as a reference, followed by a dot. And there'll be a lot of cleaning up the comments, but I'll do that off camera, just in the interests of time. So what I'm doing here is I'm just copying player 1 movement and the dot as well, so I can paste that in front, and we can slowly get rid of the red errors. So here I'm doing it in front of player 1 and also opponent. Controller dead zone negative, so that is not one that's a private bool, so we'll need to actually change that. So let's just find this. So it's of type public already, but we'll just change that to static. And we'll do the same for the other line, for the positive and the negative here. And I'll copy both public and static. And I'm just going to paste this all the way down for the analog stick and for the degrees. And that red error has gone now. So again, I'll copy player 1 movement and the dot. And we'll just need to go through. So when I come to tidying up the comments for this. I'll probably break that line up into two and split the comments. But again, I'll do that off camera, but I will only be making changes to the comments. I won't actually be changing any of the code other than just breaking the lines up as so. So play one states we can actually change that to a static as well. And moving the controller inputs to a different script will actually make things easier, because we'll have to change up some of the code when we come to implementing the player 2 controller. So this will make things easier in the long run. And it will make some excess code redundant, which you'll see when we've actually finished going through all of these, that we can clean up in this lesson. So again, not a very exciting video, but a very important one. And just for those two reasons, it's going to make things a lot easier for us. And also we can actually get rid of some code. So I've nearly done this now. So let's just save that off. We're going to come back to the play one movement. We'll come down to this red error. And we just need to do the same thing by adding the name of the script we want to reference, which this time is player one controls, and add the dot. And we'll come back and we'll change this to a public static void as well. And the red error is now gone. So let's just save that off, and we're going to downsize Visual Studio. And I'll just hit clear on the console, and as you can see, we now have quite a number of red errors, but this isn't a problem. I'll click on the first one, which in my case is coming up as opponent high kick. So in this void, player's body struck by high kick, we've got all this code to get the play one movement script, and then we're actually changing, once we've assigned this script to a temp, but now we've changed this out to a static, it isn't working, and we can actually get rid of everything above. So where we make this equal the fight camera play one game object temp, script equals the get component play one movement, and we'll just delete all of that. Again, now we can just reference the play one movement with a dot before play one states. And as you can see, we've now managed to delete quite a few lines of code. And if it was just that one on its own, maybe that wouldn't be such a big deal, but we can actually do this for all of these now. And this is a good way of doing things. It allows me not only to show you different ways of doing things, because now we've done two ways by grabbing the object, and this time by referencing a static variable. And it's very important to learn to reference game objects, because sometimes you cannot always use a static variable. And this is also the way I like to do things. I like to get things up and working, and then I can sort of come back and just polish things up. And as you can see going through, all this is the same. Just deleting all the lines above and just referencing the script now. So let's have a look here. And in this case, I'll just get rid of the get component and just reference the script. This is for the special moves. And the same here. No need to grab the component now. And we'll just save that off. Now we'll come back to player one movement, and this will avoid a bug that I encountered while I was testing this out. But this is also good practice anyway. So I've created a void awake. I'm just going to copy one of the lines where we change states. So the play one demo, and what we're going to do is just make sure that when we actually start up, that we are always in the play one idle. It will automatically switch to the demo if applicable, but we'll just add that one line of code. We can save that off, and we'll just test things out, just make sure things are still working as they should be. So we'll just let this run through again. And I'll just move the player around a bit, just to make sure we are still working. And that's great, everything seems to be working. There's no seemingly lag on the control, so that's good. And we'll just stop that there. We'll leave it here for this lesson. So again, it also makes things a lot more manageable rather than having one long script if we can break things out. Like we did with the animations, that's another benefit. But as I said, we'll leave it there for this lesson. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope to see you next time. And until then, as always, bye for now.